Claude Code is not just for developers, and I'm going to prove it right now. I'm not a programmer. I don't write code for a living. And in the next 20 minutes, you're going to watch me build an automation that would have cost me $2,000 to outsource. Here's what I want you to understand before we begin. This is not about becoming a developer. This is about becoming someone who can delegate to one. Claude Code is like having a brilliant contractor on call, who will build whatever you describe, as long as you describe it clearly. You don't need to know how to swing a hammer. You need to know what you want built. Let's start with what Claude Code actually is. Claude Code is a tool developed by Anthropic, the company behind the Claude AI, that runs directly in your computer's terminal. It lets you describe programming tasks in plain English, and it builds them. Reads your files, writes code, runs the code, fixes problems it encounters, and repeats. If that sounds like having a developer sitting next to you waiting for instructions, it is essentially that. Now, the thing that stops most people isn't the technology. The technology is genuinely easy to use. What stops people is the assumption that there's a prerequisite level of technical knowledge they haven't reached yet. There isn't. The only skill Claude Code requires is the ability to describe what you want clearly. If you can write a clear email to a contractor explaining a job, you can use Claude Code. That is the complete entry requirement. Not every task is a good first automation. The best first automation follows a predictable pattern. Same inputs, same steps, same kind of output, every single time. Here are 3 things that make a perfect first automation. Invoice generation from a time log. You track hours in a spreadsheet. You want a clean PDF invoice. Perfect. Social media repurposing. You write a blog post. You want 5 LinkedIn posts and 3 tweet threads extracted from it automatically. Perfect. Lead research summaries. You have a list of company names. You want a 1-paragraph briefing on each one compiled into a single document. Perfect. Now here's what is not a good first automation. Anything that requires logging into websites with 2-factor authentication. Anything that means clicking through a complex user interface. Anything where the output changes dramatically every single time in unpredictable ways. Save those for later. They're possible, but they require more experience. For today, we're building the client report generator. It's the single most universally useful automation I've found for people who bill time or deliver project work. If you're a consultant, a freelancer, a coach, a small agency owner, this one automation will pay back every minute you spend on this video within 2 weeks. Here's the setup. You'll have a plain text file with your raw meeting notes and project updates, the messy, unstructured kind you actually write in real life. Claude Code will transform those into a formatted, professional PDF report, with sections, a summary, and your branding every time you run it. Ready? Let's build it. All right, I've got my terminal open. Claude Code is installed and ready. If you haven't installed it yet, pause here. There's a link to the official installation guide in the description. It's a 5-minute process. Come back when you're done. Step 1. I'm going to create a working folder for this project. I type mkdir client report automation, and then cd client report automation. I'm now inside that folder. This is where everything we build will live. Think of it as a clean workshop. Step 2. I have a file on my desktop called rawnotes.txt. These are my actual meeting notes from this week. Bullet points, timestamps, rough observations, half-finished thoughts. No structure, no formatting, just the kind of notes a real human takes in a real meeting. I copy that file into this folder. Now I type Claude. That opens Claude Code. And now I just talk to it. Here is exactly what I type, and I want you to notice how simple this is. I have a file called rawnotes.txt in this folder. It contains rough meeting notes for a client project. I need you to read that file and write a Python script that will take those notes, identify the key topics, create a structured summary with 4 sections: project status, action items, key decisions, and next steps, and output a formatted PDF saved as clientreport.pdf. The report should look professional with clean fonts, clear section headings, and my company name Horizon Consulting in the header along with today's date. Now watch what happens. Claude starts reading. It responds. It tells me it's read the file. It understands what I need, and it's going to write the script. It might ask one or two clarifying questions, like what font style I prefer, or whether I want the client name pulled automatically from the notes. I answer in plain English. 2 sentences. Then it writes the script. I can see it happening, code appearing in my terminal. And here's the thing. I don't read it. I don't need to read it. I would no more read the script than I would read the engine specs of a car before driving it. I don't need to understand how it works. I need it to work. Claude tells me the script is ready. It asks if I want to run it. I type yes. 10 seconds later, clientreport.pdf exists in my folder. I open it, and there it is, a clean, professional, formatted report. Project status section with a paragraph summary pulling the key themes from my notes. Action items in a bulleted list, correctly extracted. Key decisions clearly highlighted. Next steps listed in logical priority order. My company name in the header. Today's date in the top right corner. Total time from opening the terminal to a finished professional PDF, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But here's where it gets truly powerful. I didn't just build a one-time thing. I built a reusable machine. Next week, I drop in a new raw notes.txt file. I type one command, Python generate report.py, and the whole thing runs again. Same quality, same format. 0 additional effort. That's what automation means. You do the work once, you run it forever. Let me show you one more thing. I'm going to ask Claude to make the script smarter. I type, update the script so that it automatically detects the client name from the notes file and uses it in the report title. Also, if it finds any time entries in the notes, like hours worked, add a separate section called Hours This Week with a formatted summary. Claude updates the script. It doesn't start over. It edits what already exists, the same way a contractor makes a modification without tearing down the whole wall. I run it again. The PDF now has the client name pulled automatically from my notes. The hours section appears. Claude found the time entries, extracted them, formatted them into a clean table. This is the moment where people say, wait, this is real? This actually just worked? Yes, it actually just worked. Now I want to talk about something that most tutorial videos skip entirely. And it's the exact reason so many people give up. Things will break. Errors will happen. This is completely normal. And it is completely fixable. Here are the 3 most common errors you will hit as a non-developer using Claude Code, and the exact fix for each one. Error number 1, module not found or package not installed. You'll see something in your terminal like, module not loadception, no module named Report Lab. This just means your computer is missing a specific software library that the script needs. It's not a problem with your script. Think of it like trying to bake a cake and realizing you don't have baking powder. The fix is simple. Copy that exact error message. Paste it to Claude. Type, I got this error when I ran the script. How do I fix it? Claude will tell you to run something like, pip install report lab. You run it. You run the script again. Done. 30 seconds. Error number 2, file not found or no such file or directory. This almost always means your file isn't where Claude expects it to be. The fix, type into the terminal ls. That lists everything in your current folder. You'll immediately see if the file is there. If the name is slightly different, just tell Claude. Claude updates it. You run it. Done. Error number 3. Claude builds something that technically runs, but the output isn't quite right. The formatting is off. A section is missing. This is not failure. This is iteration. This is how professional developers work every single day. The fix. Describe exactly what's wrong. Be specific. Don't say the report looks bad. Say, The action items section is showing as a wall of unbroken text instead of bullet points. Also, the client name is appearing in all capital letters. I'd like it in title case. Claude fixes precisely what you described. You run it again. You keep going until it's exactly what you imagined. The mental model that changes everything. Claude Code is not a vending machine where you insert a description and receive a perfect product. It's a collaboration. You describe, it builds. You review, you refine. After 2 or 3 rounds of specific feedback, you have exactly what you wanted. Most people quit after the first error. The people who succeed treat every error as one step closer to the finished product. One final tip. If you are ever truly stuck, type this to Claude. Something has gone wrong and I can't identify the fix. I'd like to start fresh. Please reread my original goal and rebuild the script from the beginning. Claude will do it. Clean slate, fresh start. Often the second version is significantly better than the first. You now have a working client report generator. But what you really have is a foundation, and foundations are meant to be built on. Let me show you 3 specific expansions you can add to this script. Each one takes about 5 minutes to implement. Expansion 1. Scheduled automatic delivery. Right now you trigger the report manually. But what if it ran every Friday at 4 p.m. and automatically saved the output to your Google Drive? Ask Claude, how do I set this script to run automatically every Friday at 4 p.m. and save the output to my desktop? Claude will walk you through it. On a Mac, it uses a built-in scheduler. On Windows, the task scheduler. You don't need to know those names. Claude knows them. Expansion 2. Automatic email delivery. Ask Claude. Update the script so that after generating the PDF, it automatically emails it to the client as an attachment with the subject line, your weekly report, and today's date. Claude will add the email logic. From that point forward, the report generates and sends itself. Expansion 3. Multi-client batch processing. Ask Claude. Rewrite the script so it reads every text file inside a folder called Client Notes, generates a separate PDF report for each file, names each PDF after the client, and saves them all into a folder called Reports. 5 minutes. You now have a batch report engine that handles your entire client roster in a single command. This is the compounding effect of automation. You start with one simple script. You add one feature at a time. Within a month, you have a system that would have cost several $1,000s to have a developer build from scratch. Before I let you go, here are 5 things you can build next. 1. A social media repurposing machine. 2. An invoice generator. 3. A competitive intelligence briefer. 4. A meeting prep assistant. 5. A content calendar builder. Every one of these uses the same mental model. Describe the input, describe the output. Let Claude figure out the middle. In episode 4, we connect it to the outside world. Your email inbox, your calendar, live data from the web. We're going to build an automation that doesn't just wait for you to run it. It monitors, it responds, it acts. On its own, while you sleep. The automation age is not coming. It's here. The only question is whether you're using it or being replaced by the people who are. I'll see you in the next one.